Right. So in the previous video, we were able to get there. Now what you want to do is you want to be able to utilize this particular form, this particular template. So what we need to do is we need to put in everything that can be done. So for starters, we hadn't put in a home page. So I'm going to go right ahead here and create a home page. In the home page, all I'm going to say is that. So just going to say welcome to our home page. And that's that. Done. Once we're done with that, we need to go back to our layout. We look at our base. Now we can start modifying this template to meet what basically we want to work. Right. So we're gonna go right here and change this to our title. Say let's call it our awesome project. So our awesome project. This is an awesome project. Okay, so the next place we need to go to is we need to go to where we have our navigation, right? So in our navigation we have something called home. Then you're gonna change this to movies, and then maybe you're gonna have a contact form, right? So that now when we load, let's load this up, save it, start the server, see your changes, then load it up. Alright, awesome. So now we can see our movies, right? So now what you want is that when you hit movies, you're taken to the particular movies file. So you want it to go to here, to movies. So let's go right ahead and change that in our base file. So now when you hit movies, we want it to take you here, movies. Okay, so let's refresh that. Okay, now we need movies takes you there. But unfortunately, A, what you have here is not what you want to be loading in our home content. And B, this does not look anything near what you already have. So now you're gonna do a bit of template inheritance. So what we have here is we have all our home content, right? All the home content needs to be in a container. Right? So what you're gonna do is that instead of showing our content here, you're gonna use Laravel's template. We're gonna use something called yield. So let's look at that, see how it works. So this is it. Right? So we're gonna use yield. So we're gonna copy that. Now we're gonna go right ahead and paste it here. Now we no longer need this. Right? Done with that part. Now once we have that, we're gonna come right back here to our homepage. To here, where we specified our homepage. Now what you're gonna do is that you're gonna have this part extend out our base. So you're gonna specify that it extends. So you can check out more of the documentation here. I will show you how to do it. So we tell it the layout to extend. In our case, the extending out layouts.blade. So you're gonna do that. So you're gonna call layouts.blade. Sorry. layouts.base. That's what you're doing. Okay. Then next we need to specify our content area. So this is what we have, section content. So we're gonna go right ahead and do that. So now this is a section, and it has section is content. Then we need to end this section. So now once we have that part done, we need to change in our roots file, this one. So now instead of loading in our base file, which is just a template file, we want it to change to load in our home page instead. There we go. There we go. So let's do that. So let's load them. Okay, so our view is not found. That's because it's not in the layouts folder. Instead, it's just in the home file, so because it's just here. So let's go ahead and refresh that. There we go. So now here we have our content. So let's first change this project name to something just a bit more exciting. And I mean that in the most literal sense of the word. So instead of project name, we're gonna change this to awesome projects, or instead you can call it our movies directory, because that's what maybe it is. Okay, so let's refresh that so that okay, now it looks a bit better. So now we have home, we have our movies, and we have our contract. Unfortunately, our movie still looks nothing like this, but by now we know what we need to do. So we just need to go to where our particular view is. So we had this loads in this movies view, and again that means that now our movies will extend, right? To extend what we had in our layouts dot base. Then this will provide the section content. Section itself is content, and as usual end the section. There we go. So let's try that. Load it up. Alright, so let's go back here. Let's go back to our movies. So there must be something that you're not loading up as expected. Let's see, it extends layouts.base. Section we are loading out. Compare this to the home page. Okay, so we have our extend. Oh, we did not close out this. It's the pain of debugging. And you're all good to go. Let's try it. Awesome. So now there we go. So now our form loads up in something that looks just a bit more, better. So when you go to home, you go to movies, there you go. But this doesn't look as pretty. Maybe we could make it look better. So when you come here, you can start looking at some of the components that are here. So let's look at some of the components that are here. In specific, what you're looking for is actually, sorry, these are the components. What you're looking for is actually the tables. So I can just quickly do a search for tables. So there you go. So you want something that looks maybe relatively good. So how you make a table work is you need to specify class table. So here all I need to do is I need to add something new, and you call it a class table. So Bootstrap identifies your stuff based on the class, or specifically your components. So let's start. Voila. So now our forms look that much better. And of course, you need to fix up some of these navigation issues. Because when you place home here, it still takes you back to movies. So you need to go back to our base, and we need to change some stuff here. Have our navigation, so that this now points there. And then this, instead of going to contact, I think you already had something else, which was an about page. Yeah, there you go. So you had an about page. So you can decide to use this, so that we have, so do the exact same thing that we have here. So we can just copy it and then paste it there. And then of course you would end the section here. Don't need any of this. and then we can wrap this up in a paragraph. Okay, then after that we'll change what we have in our base blade. So now instead of having contact as we do here, we can instead have an about. This is now an about. Then we change this to about. Okay, so good. So we can load that. So now that this goes to an about page, which works for home page, which works, which goes to our movies, which also works, and so on and so forth. So now we need to make sure that everything, all our views work. For example, now when you go to this, it still doesn't work. So you need to make sure that this particular part also extends the layout. So when you go to the add movie bit, we need to make sure that it also extends our layout. So this is the general way of doing it. As usual, just come here and just paste it out, all of it. So you notice that each and every view that you have must be able to do this. So it must extend what you have. If it doesn't, then it won't be consistent with what you already have. So let's just yank all of this out and then paste it on top. Copy all of that, paste it there. So looking at individual movies, same case. But now also we don't need any of this HTML or body part. That part is already taken care of. So I just need to delete this out. As usual, do all that. Don't need this space. So this needs to happen for each and every file that you have, except this one, because this was the beginning page. We no longer need it. You can just go right ahead and delete it. So what shipped with Laravel, you no longer need it. Okay, cue that out, turn out. Now let's see. Okay, so it seems that this is a bit static, so I don't want that to be static. So let's go back here. So I want to remove this particular class, delete it out, and that, save it. Okay, see, all right, that's awesome. So now you can see our movies, can see an individual one, can edit it, so on and so forth. Okay, so feel free to play around with it and let's see what you can get out of it. Right, so let's get here.